Welcome. This is a short tutorial on how to ensure survey compliance and a guide to passing the review. I'm currently on the DX training website, and you will find a guide to walk you through what is expected to pass the review. Please keep in mind, the purpose of this guide is to make sure we have the best surveys for the state of Iowa. Also to make sure that we meet the accessibility, methodology, theming and branding, and security compliance. Let's go ahead and take a deep dive inside Qualtrics and walk you through this process. But I do encourage you to use this guide as it is ever changing as we continue to launch Qualtrics. I'm currently logged into Qualtrics. You can access Qualtrics through login.iowa.gov and click on the Qualtrics CX tile. Once you get into Qualtrics, go ahead and make a survey. Go ahead and click on the hamburger at the top left-hand corner, select Projects, and create a project. And then select Survey and click Get Started. Go ahead and name the survey. And then I would go ahead and select it from Use Survey from the library. Now, make note, this is only for you to get access to the library item that will guide you through the checklist. This is not the normal process when you're creating a nurse survey. Most of the time, you'll always want to create a blank survey project. But for this demonstration, and for you to get access to the sample guide in the library, go ahead and select Use Survey from Library. Then you're going to select All Iowa Brand, Library, and select From Survey, Make Great Surveys and Forms for Iowa. So again, this is not the normal process as you create a survey. However, for this demonstration and to get access to this guide book within Qualtrics, go ahead and create project. Once you have your own survey, go ahead and we're going to walk through some of these important items as we review it in the review and approval process. Accessibility is a very important topic, and especially on your public forms. One of the things we want to look at is your help text. We do not want help text smaller than anything less than 12. 12 is the size that we have selected to meet the accessibility requirements. So in this example, you see the help text is at 12 font size. To adjust it to always be at 12 font, you would just highlight your help text and select 12 point. However, do not change normal or font in this example, as we will use the CSS styling that has been created for you to match your theming and guidelines. It does look a little bit different inside the Rich Content Editor. No worries, don't spend time messing with this. Go ahead and click out of your Rich Content Editor and select on the three dots of your question and select Preview Question. This will give you a look and feel of what you'll see as the constituent experience will see that it looks correct in this view. So it's got the 12 font and our default question type is 14. Let's move on. Alt images. We always need a good alt image. Alternate text. So in this case, that image has already been uploaded. I'm going to go ahead and select the Rich Content Editor. Select the image, highlight the image, right click, and select Image Properties. Once you select the image properties, it is always required to have an alternate text inside that image. So again, good practices to always have an alt text. Moving on, color contrast and emphasize text. It is not good practice to use bold and underline to emphasize a text or red text. Why? Bold and underline makes it look like a hyperlink. And if it's not a hyperlink, it is very confusing for the constituent. Red text is not a good color choice for visibly impaired. However, use words such as note or important to emphasize any text. And again, you can always adjust your text by inside your Rich Content Editor. Again, note and important is the recommended option. You can bold, but do not bold and underline. The other thing is always make sure your spelling is correct on your form or survey. You do have a web browser built-in spell check. To do so, you'll notice in this example, the word check is spelled wrong. You can actually right-click on that squiggly red line and select the proper spelling for that word. Moving on to the expert review. There is an expert review within Qualtrics will help to make sure that you are passing compliance scores as well. So this is a really good tool that's within Qualtrics. You can access the expert review up at the top right-hand corner and select Expert Review and select your score. You can also find it in the Publish option. You'll be able to click on your score as well. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select Expert Review Score, and you will see that there is some warnings on this particular survey. Our goal in this expert review is to see pass. There are some exceptions to the rule. However, again, this is a really good tool that we want to see. So make sure that you are understanding the error messages that you're receiving in the expert review. Device review. We strongly encourage that all forms should be in a good mobile device option. Now, there are some exceptions. However, if it's a public form and it's on a website or going to constituent experience, most of the people will complete a form via mobile. So in your preview option under the top right-hand corner, you always have the option to preview your survey in a mobile-friendly way. So it's always good to view your survey in a preview in the mobile option here as well. You will also find in the expert review, it will tell you if it's mobile friendly as well. So again, use that expert review. Moving on to methodology. Same thing, you have two expert reviews. You have the methodology score and the survey score. Again, emphasize we want you to pass. There are again exceptions to every rule. However, this is a really good learning tool for you to make sure that your survey methodology is good and that you have no survey error score. End of survey message. Make sure that your end of survey is clear and customized so the constituents know exactly what to expect for. You can see in this example, if I scroll down, you will see that I have, all the way down, I have a really good example that I'm giving an expectation when the constituent fills out the survey. They know what to expect. I'm supposed to be getting a response in 2 to 3 business days. Please do not use the general message. Again, constituents need to know what takes place. When you make a customized end of survey, make sure that it's a 14-point. You do have to change the font to do so. So inside here, you will want to make sure that you have a good customized message to give a constituent a good experience. Again, hyperlinks inside the form or survey. This is a big no-no. It will break your survey if you do not do this properly. In this example, you'll see that I have 2 hyperlinks directly here. If I go to the rich content editor, it is what we're expecting. We will be checking for this because it will break your form if you do it properly. You can always hyperlink a resource in the form, but make sure you always have the target set to new window blank. Again, make sure you have a new window blank. If not, when you test it, you will find it will not work properly. Same thing with email. Do the same thing, open into a new window. Great example. Branding and navigation, very important. These decisions were made by the DX Steering Committee, and we strongly encourage you to follow these as it gives a good, safe, secure constituent experience. So first thing, make sure you have a display name and a survey description, and a title of a survey, and next and back buttons. Let's go ahead and talk about those 3 items. On the left-hand side, you will find there is a look and feel, the paintbrush. Click on the look and feel, and this is where you can select your theme. So again, find your agency acronym and then select Okoboji Afternoons, Manawa Mornings. You will know what type of website color you have is the one that you should select. Otherwise, always default to the Okoboji Afternoon, which is that teal green. Find your, find your agency name or division, and you'll be able to find it there for you. Again, then select General. We always want the next button to say next and the back button to say back. That was a decision by the DX Steering Committee. Again, paragraph styling is really important to be accessible. So we also want to make sure that you have a good title that appears on every portion of the survey. So if you have 5 pages on your survey, we want to make sure the title appears throughout your survey. So to do so, go ahead and go to your header, select Edit, type in your title as shown here, and make sure it's at heading 1. Again, do not adjust the font or size as the CSS styling will automatically do so. Let's go ahead and select to motion. We do not like the page transition as it's not as accessible, so please choose no page transition. Moving on, we're going to go down to the bottom and go to survey options. This is another requirement under branding and navigation. We go to survey options, always have under general, make great surveys and forms for Iowans. In addition, make a good survey description. Why? This provides a good, safe, and constituent experience to know exactly what kind of form or survey they're selecting on, and give me a highlighted survey description. This is a really good tool to use. This will help your constituent experience. If you go over to responses, there are times and there are not times to use the back button. We will help and guide you on that. But if it is a very generic survey, the back button is a very useful tool. Moving back to the survey builder to go through our list, as we've already talked about these items, we're going to go to the paragraph styling. There are times that you might need a subheader. Please go ahead and use the paragraph styling of header 2 if you have a subheading, and etc., header 3, and etc. However, keep in mind your title is always heading 1. And again, we always want you to use the default font and do not change the font unless it's been guided inside this guidebook. Moving on to security. There are times that you will need to collect a social security number or highly sensitive information. No worries. If you do have a security question that might be flagged just like this one, and how do I know it's flagged? Over the right-hand side, you will find a light bulb, much like this, and you will see the light bulb gives you a nice little warning. This is part of the review process. This is also indicating maybe, do I need to say that word? Do I need to collect that information? This is part of data stewardship. We want to make sure you're only collecting what you need to collect, and this gives you an additional warning. There are some keywords in the back end that will flag us to make sure that we are setting up things correctly on the back end. Now, there are times, like you said, you need to collect this. We just ask that if you are collecting sensitive information and you see this warning either in the question type or in the expert review, and let me show you that one. If I go up to the expert review, in your Listen, Understand, Act intake, this is important for us to know and indicate this so we do not redact your information that you do need to see. So it's very important that you do show us that and inform us in the intake. So again, you can collect it. That is not the issue. We just want to make sure that we set it up correctly. In addition to this example, again, not required, there are some best practices, such as form best practices, survey design best practices, survey scales best practices. Please refer to them, as our goal is to make excellent, great surveys and forms for the state of Iowa. So with that, please make note of these additional things to assist in your process as you build your survey. With that, I hope this quick video will help you, guide you, and to be able to pass the review in flying colors. With that, thank you for your time.